Shalom lechulam. Hello everybody. In this video, we're going to see Hebrew sentence construction using the demonstrative pronouns ze, zo, zot, zu, eleh, and elu. And this kind of sentence construction is used when we refer to people or things as it, this, these, that, or those. So let's go. Now let's start by reviewing our Hebrew personal pronouns because we will be seeing them over and over again. So I or me means ani, is ani, okay. You when talking to a male is ata. You when talking to a female is at. We or us is anachnu. When talking to males we say atem, you. And you, when talking to females, is aten with an N, aten. And of course, hu means he means she, hem means they when referring to males, and hen means they when referring to females. This time, let's take a look at demonstrative pronouns and take note of the gender for which these demonstrative pronouns are used. So on the left side, we have the singular form, like when we want to say it, this, or this one. So if we're referring to something that is masculine, we use ze. So I colored it in blue because it's a boy. It's masculine. And I colored in pink are the feminine forms. So if we want to say it, this, or this one, and we're referring to a feminine noun, then we say either zot, zo, or zu. So some people use zo, some say zot, some say zu. So it really depends on the preference. Now on the right side, let's look at the plural form. When we want to say these or those, or these ones or those ones, we use eleh or elu. Again, it depends on what the person wants to use. They're interchangeable, but most of the time we use eleh. Anyway, what's important to note here is that for plural forms, eleh or elu can be used for both masculine and feminine objects. So it's not gender sensitive. We're going to see examples of that. So let's begin with ze. Ze means it, this, or this one when referring to a masculine object, which is singular. In our example here, we're referring to a masculine object, which is sefer. Sefer means book, and it's a masculine noun. So we would use ze to refer to this object. So in the first sentence, we're saying this book is good. So the book is being described for its attributes. So we say there's ha-sefer hazeh tov. There's emphasis. This book is good. So when you're formulating a sentence like that, we say ha-sefer, you say the book, hazeh, this book, right? Ha-sefer hazeh tov. This book, this, good. Sounds a bit like Tarzan, doesn't it? But that's how we emphasize things in Hebrew. So hazeh, ha-sefer hazeh tov. But if we're not really emphasizing something and we're just declaring something about this book, like, well, this is David's book, right? So in the second sentence, we're saying ze hu sefer shel David. So remember, hu means he. So each object is either masculine or feminine, and so it's like referring to it as a person or he. Oh, that book, he's nice, he's good, right? So who, when we refer to that, we use who when we refer to that book because it's a masculine noun. So when we say this is David's book, we say זה הוא ספר של דוד. This, he, book of David. If we really try to translate it word for word, literally. But what that's saying is, this is David's book. זה הוא ספר של דוד. He, the book of David. He's the book of David. So this is David's book. Now let's see how we say it, this, or this one when referring to feminine objects. So we can either use zu, zo, or zot. They are interchangeable. A lot of times people use zo or zot. Let's see some examples. Here, the word we'll be referring to is matana. Matana is a feminine noun which means gift. Right, so in the first sentence, let's say, this gift is big. Hamatana hazo gadola. Remember, in the previous example, we said hasefer haze tov. Haze. Here we're saying hazo. This. But referring to something feminine. So instead of haze, we say hazo. Hamatana, the gift. Hazo, this. Gadola, big. This gift, this one, it's big. So this gift is big. In Hebrew is hamatana hazo gadola. Okay, there's emphasis. Like haze, we say hazo to have that emphasis. Now in the second sentence, we're saying this is Sarah's gift. It's just a declaration of a fact, right? So zo hamatana shel Sarah. Zo hamatana shel Sarah. Zo, this, right? We can say zot or zu. In this case, we prefer to use zo. So zo hamatana shel Sarah. This, the gift of Sarah. So this is how we say this is Sarah's gift. Zo hamatana shel Sarah. Now let's see the masculine and feminine forms side by side. So to say this book is good, hasefer haze tov. This book, this is good. Hasefer haze tov. And for the feminine object, we say hamatana hazo gadola. This gift, this is big. Hamatana hazo gadola. Because we're referring to feminine, we use zo. We could have used zot or zu as well. Now let's compare the other way of constructing a sentence when there's not that much emphasis. So this is David's book. Ze hu sefer shel David. This, he, book of David. He's the book of David. So this is David's book. Ze hu sefer shel David. And on the feminine side, this is Sarah's gift. Zo hamatana shel Sarah. This, the gift of Sarah. This is Sarah's gift. Zo hamatana shel Sarah. Okay, let's read that again. Ze hu sefer shel David. Zo hamatana shel Sarah. And to wrap up this part regarding the singular demonstrative pronouns, haze is for masculine objects. Hazu, hazo, and hazot are for emphasizing demonstration pertaining to feminine objects. So on the left side, let's use the word yom, which is the word for day. So to say this day, we say hayom haze. And on the right side, let's use the word for country, which is medina. Ha medina hazot. It could have been Hamedina hazo or Hamedina hazu. But most people would say hazot. It's it's really getting a feel of what people usually say. So Hamedina hazot, hayom hazeh. Okay, so now we're ready to see the plural version of the demonstrative pronouns. To say these or those or these ones or those ones, we use either eleh or elu. Again, they are interchangeable, and we're going to see examples. So let's go back to our example for the masculine noun, which is sefer, book. This time we're going to see its plural form, sfarim. So to make a noun plural, a masculine noun plural, we usually add im. So sefer, sfarim. Kerub, kerubim. Okay, so sfarim means books. So let's see two example sentences. These books are good. Hasfarim ha'ele tovim. In our example for the singular form, we said hasefer hazeh tov. Now this time we say hasfarim ha'ele instead of hazeh, because hazeh is for just one book. Here we're talking about several books. Ha'ele, hasfarim ha'ele tovim. Now instead of saying tov, tov means good, we add im to make it plural. Like sefer becomes sfarim, kerub becomes kerubim. That makes it plural. So these books are good. Hasfarim ha'ele tovim. Now in the next sentence, we're saying these are David's books. Eleh hasfarim shel David. Literally, these the books of David. Shel means of. So eleh hasfarim shel David. These are David's books. Now let's look at our feminine example. So previously we have seen that matanach means gift in the singular form. To make it plural, to make a feminine noun plural, instead of adding im, which is in the case of the masculine noun, we add ot, o and t. Matana, matanot. Previously we had sefer, sfarim. We added an im. That is to make a plural, make a noun plural. We add im. But to make a feminine noun plural, we add ot. So matanach, matanot. Gifts. So let's see the sentences here. These gifts are big. Hamatanot ha'ele gadolot. Hamatanot ha'ele gadolot. Again, gadol means big, and because we're talking about plural gifts here, so it's, gadol means big, but we're referring to a feminine plural noun, matanot. Gadol becomes gadolot. So the gender really plays an important role here. Hamatanot ha'ele gadolot. See the pattern there? We add ot. In the second sentence, we're saying these are Sarah's gifts. Eleh, these, hamatanot, the gifts, shel, of Sarah. Eleh hamatanot shel Sarah. These, the gifts of Sarah. That's how we say these are Sarah's gifts. Eleh hamatanot shel Sarah. And finally, let's look at elu. Well, eleh and elu mean the same thing. They both mean these or those, these ones or those ones. And some people will use eleh, some say elu. A lot of people use eleh most of the time, but there are instances when you'd hear native speakers say elu. So let's see an example of that. In this example, we have the plural word devarim, things or stuff, right? So davar means thing or stuff. Things or stuffs in plural form is devarim. So it's masculine, so we add im to make it plural. So to say these are my things, we say elu hadvarim sheli. We could also say eleh hadvarim sheli. Elu and eleh can be used interchangeably. So to conclude this lesson, in Hebrew, you will often encounter gender-sensitive sentence construction using hazeh, hazo, zot or zu, and ha'eleh or ha'elu. Wow, that was a lot of information, wasn't it? If you found this video useful, please feel free to subscribe to the Hebrew for Beginners channel, and I hope to see you again. Bye!